The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the host of this show are for entertainment purposes only. I repeat, this is not serious, this is not real. I am an untrained professional content creator who is freestyling this show. I do not encourage you to try this at home alone. Enjoy the show.
What up, beautiful people of YouTube social media? How are you doing this evening? My name is Cynthia, and tonight you are joining us for episode 9 of Chicas Locas. My beautiful co-host Yolanda is here next to me. Can I get a mic check, Yolanda?
Hola, hola, buenos noches.
What up, chica? What'd you think of the intro song? I don't even think I told you what I was playing, did I?
You didn't. That was a surprise, but it sure did set the tone. I loved it.
And you know that was Santana. It was Sade and Santana together, which is why that was so much to me. I've seen him in concert. I think that his music brings about a vibe. So I agree. It definitely set the tone tonight. Although I put the comments up, let me run through the chat. I got Tommy here, which is, I don't know what Tommy this is, but whatever. Unless it's the real Tommy. I don't know. We have Kate here. Kate, welcome to the show. I'm going to swing back around. You have some good topics and conversation starters. Gigi, I'm not sure why this message is here, but Gigi, you are always welcome. Always welcome. If you think that I have a problem with you, anybody, this is not aimed at anybody specifically, please come and talk to me. I have no problems, Gigi. You're always welcome here. We have Bex. Hey, Bex, how are you? Always good to see you, as always. We have the Mad Chatter. The way this show goes is that on 1 week, we will be on What's Up Cynthia's tonight. This is the page we are on. Next week, we will be at the Mad Chatters. I will drop her link in a minute. If you've not joined her or visited her, please go over there. Make sure to subscribe. Tommy down here telling jokes. Cynthia is so fat that we wait around for her. NPC, always good to see you. Always good to see you. I was going through some old footage today, and I had taken my grandchildren, all of my grandchildren, to a light show in around Christmas time this past Christmas. And there was I was reviewing the footage, and it was from Taiwan. It was a Taiwan light show and festival, and it was interesting. They made amazing cotton candy figures. And I immediately thought of you. I said, man, if NPC gets to walk around this every night, count me in. Count me in. All righty. I think I pretty much mindful exposure. Hello, Chica. Welcome to the show. And then El Perro. El Perro says, love it. Smooth and mellows. Yes, indeed. Tonight, we're going to take a break from the telenovelas. If you've been keeping up, and if you know, you know. However, oh my gosh, why do I feel like, oh wait, is that, anyways, who is this? I'm trying to figure out,
Tommy.
No, it's not Tommy. Tommy.
It is. Are you kidding me? That sounds just like him.
No, it doesn't. It sounds just like, what's his name? Queen Stephen. Oh, prove to me you're not King Stephen without coming to my panel or typing in my chat. Anywho's, guys, welcome to the show. And tonight our topic is learning to play the game of YouTube. Do you think that YouTube is a game, Bex?
Yolanda.
My bad. I was looking at her. Glad to hear you. Bex, do you think that YouTube is a game? But Yolanda, do you think that YouTube is a game?
Yeah, I think life is a game. when you've got more than one person, and then that means that you've got some social dynamics. More than two, more than three, and you got to learn how to maneuver around it.
Indeed. On our past streams, we've talked about characters on YouTube. We've talked about the trolls, the zombies, the tricksters, and just the different type of characters that come on here. But tonight, I want us to talk about the actual game itself. Oh, and if you don't believe that there's a game, there is most definitely being a game played on YouTube. Are we all playing the same game? I doubt it. I seriously, seriously doubt it. Welcome, Snow. Always good to see you, Chica. When I had a job working in the adult entertainment industry, we will now refer to that job as. I was such a Karen, Yolanda. I was such a Karen. Like I was doing everything by the book, right? And of course, in that type of environment, doing things by the book is probably frowned upon. Hello, all. Hello, Jackie Fox. Good to see you. So I was making a lot of enemies at my job, Yolanda. I was making my job difficult. It was making it stressful. I didn't want to go to work. And I'm pretty sure my coworkers were calling my manager because he called me one day and he said, Cynthia, we got to have a talk. Stop it, ladies. He said, Cynthia, we got to have a talk tonight. You got to learn to play the game. You got to learn to play the game. Sometimes you're going to have to bend the rules, Cynthia. And sometimes you're going to have to give up a little and you're going to have to let them make it. Just because later you might need them to bend the rules for you. Like you got to kind of, be your own judge of character, but you got to learn to play the game. Even though you have a job here, you're still playing a game with your coworkers. Did I explain that good, Yolanda?
Yeah, I'm just listening in on you because I had to have the same discussion with my boss at one point. So I'm curious how your boss approached what the maneuvers were.
Well, it was, and some people like they just were not sticking to the rules and they were just bending them. But the more I tried to be like, you can't do that, was the more it was causing chaos and friction between us. And I just had to understand I had to bend the rules just to keep that peace that also kept the peace not in my life, kept my job, but also just made my boss's life easier. And it just made things flow better. And when you're not focused on, oh, you should be doing that and not that, but you're still focusing on the bigger picture, the bigger game being played. And we were all there for our own reasons. I was trying to support my family. So I come to YouTube and I think, you know what? This is the same thing. There is a game being played and I got to learn to play the game. And that's what I want to talk about tonight with you, Yolanda.
Yeah, I have a different way of looking at it as growing up in the 80s, Super Mario Brothers, all of those games were my jam. And Super Mario Brothers 3 was my favorite. And I would spend hours on the weekends with my cousins trying to find all of the secret passageways and the bonus things. And, do you remember that? There would be extra lives that you could get. You could warp to different areas. And that's kind of how I feel about YouTube, is that some have the secret passageways. Some of them have the one-ups. They have these maneuvers around here, but the rules seem to, they shift and they change all the time.
Absolutely. I have to confess to you, Yolanda, I'm not very good with video games. I'm actually jealous of everybody that could go on a live stream and play a video game, because I'd be like, man, you can live stream, get your watch hours up and play a game. That'd be amazing. But I'm not very good with eye-hand coordination at all, girl. So if I played that, I was like so happy if I got like to level 4. I was like, holy shit, I'm winning tonight. So that's never really been my thing. At first, I thought of board games as I originally came up with this concept, but more so these computer games. And there's missions in the games. And then sometimes alliances have to be formed. And even if it's with somebody you don't want to form an alliance with, you're there for the greater mission, the greater purpose. And
Mhm.
sometimes those purposes align.
Yeah, you have to have technique and you have to have experience.
Technique. Oof. And experience. I like how you brought that up, experience. Because
Well,
along with experience comes a lot of error.
well, it is trial and error. I've watched these streamers go at it here for a hot minute, and even your last stream that you did,
Mm.
it was impactful, it was powerful. Your performance was um, authentic, it was genuine, and I could see that you are advancing in the game.
Well, thank you so much. And I got to tell you, this is my third night in a row of going live. Like, this is tiring. I usually only go live once a week. So to do it 3 nights in a row, you do start to develop a little bit more. I'll just say je ne sais quoi. I'm not sure what it is developing, but obviously it's being seen. I can feel it happening as well. What up, DeFreak? Good to see you. Um, I like how you said with trial and error, because we've talked about it in the past. So just briefly, I have gone through a lot of trials on this platform. How about you?
Oh my, all the time. That's what we've started our streams off with one another about, is learning from those trials and errors and passing on some of the wisdom and advice to others. It's been a boot camp of sorts,
Except our boot.
a social boot camp.
A social boot camp. However, I feel like it's not going to end. Like, we're not just here for the summer. We're here for the long term.
Yes, ma'am. I've been saying it for a while. Like this is like a precursor to the purge.
You have been saying that. And it's interesting because there's, I feel like you, obviously there's the game of real life. However, the game of YouTube is different. It's a broader audience, game board, if you want to call it the game board. You interact with more people and more characters are brought into it. Sometimes there's dirty characters, there's alliance characters. What characters have you come across?
If we're going to be talking about, even with any game, card games, you've got a chessboard up here. You know, there are kings, there's queens, that those can trump one another. But you know, even the idea of the black and white uh, checkerboard.
Mm,
You know, there's the light, there's the darkness, and then we all kind of meet somewhere in between.
absolutely. What I have found from my experience is finding the right type of balance on here. And so I want us to kind of go over the different red flags that we see, the different things that we need to take note of ourselves. And what I saw Margot say, stay in another chat, was learning when to put the sword down. I feel like you are actually better at that than I am. Tommy giving Cynthia another exclusive. I'm not sure if that's Tommy. You're definitely a better at that part of it than I am, which I think is what makes us a good balance of each other. I am more of a, I'm gonna take this game head on and I'm just gonna run through it. And if I fall, I fall. And if I make errors, I make errors, and I try to learn from them and grow from them. That has been my strategy. However, I understand that's not everybody's strategy. What strategy have you found that works for you? Because I think you're totally different than me. And I saw that evident last night.
Well, you know, I talked about it in the past, about the trials and errors in my life of the different games, whether it be with family, whether it be with the workplace, and now here on to YouTube. But I've learned. Hold on a second, my dog's doing something stupid. And repeat the question so I don't forget.
No worries. If while she's going to do that, please make sure to hit the like button. It was that really him, Yolanda? Was that the real Tommy?
I think it is. It sounds like how because Tommy
Really?
has pizzazz with the way that he communicates, and that had some pizzazz to it.
Now I gotta go and unblock him. Because I thought it was somebody pretending to be Tommy. But then again, is that the real DJM? See, that's the thing about these characters. Characters, you got to be careful with the characters because sometimes if they're just chatters and stuff, tricks can be played on you. Like somebody
It's
did.
DJM. It is.
No. I know that's DJ. Is it?
Yeah, I just checked.
No, go to her page and double check.
I did. It's her.
Okay. All right, then let me go get Tommy. Because last time DJM is the one that porn bombed my show, right?
Wait a minute. What?
Yes, you didn't know that? That's why I'm suspicious. See, that's what I'm saying. Characters on this game board will pick up other characters and they'll trick you. And so I got porn bombed one night on a show and they came up as DJM. And then I don't want to say nothing in front of DJM, but Yolanda, just between you and me, I think it really was DJM. Do you want me to tell you why? Do you want me to tell you why?
Yes.
Okay. Because the next night when we were at Tommy's house, at Tommy's page, not his house, but his house, she said, "Oh my gosh, did you see Cynthia got P-bombed last night with that big white, because it was and I said, well, it was only up there for a second. Like wow, DJM, that was really good catching that so quickly. So then I was always suspicious. Who else would know what it was except, all right, I got you. Except the person who really did it. Except the person who really did it. No, DJM. it was all Snappy's fault. Stop it. I know. So, okay. Oh, she rewound it? Wow, DJM. Wow. All right.
Tommy says this literally did not happen.
Yes. What? No, man. Yeah, as you're starting to develop, and as Yolanda says, as you're starting to level up in the game, new characters get exposed. New characters come into play. I assume with your Mario Brothers, the same happened to you?
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. One more time. What did you say?
She was saying that I became paranoid. And I was saying, no, as you advance in this game, new characters become unlocked. Like you start to meet new types of people.
You go into a new world.
Right. And so I'm like, because see why I'm thinking, oh, DJM's here. But then I'm not even thinking trolls are going to try to P-bomb me. Like, first of all, I'm a smaller channel. I'm just trying to really get started. So I was asking, in those worlds, does that happen as well in your Mario Brothers games?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of going through that with one of my neighbors right now. She leveled up to a whole other type of gremlin.
And let's be clear, sometimes leveling up is not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. What technique? Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I'm reading Tommy's
You guys missed one of the fire chats I ever authenticated my identity.
His Naga Tower.
Oh, you see, I didn't even know that. See, Cynthia, my avatar has been used before to P-bomb. I didn't even know that.
Which, by the way, do you have an overlay prepared?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Because being P-bombed is not good for your panel.
No, that's messy.
Well, I think that, as I was saying earlier, Yolanda, you have the better strategy when it comes to playing this game on YouTube. So I want to hear from your point of view. I think people have seen me in action the last couple of days. People seen you in action, and our tactics, our approach, our outlook, our end goal, end results is completely different. So I want to hear it from your point of view.
Well, I look for resolution, and I am also hyper aware and sensitive to people having trauma and their own stuff that they're trying to work out. And there's also a sense of pattern recognition that I see within all of us. So I really appreciate it when there's a lot of conflict amongst all of us that's going on. And I think that if anything, having someone like myself come in and suggest the resolution needs to be done at times, because that ripple effect, it just continues and it goes on and on and on. And sometimes I like to come and smooth the waters out and balance things out again. And then the ripple effect will happen all over. But there's only so much of it that I can take in terms of toxicity. Um, and it's just important for me to realign and rebalance myself to not have too much toxic. You know what I mean?
Have you been able to rebalance yourself on YouTube, or do you have to balance yourself again on the real world to bring balance back to YouTube?
Well, the way I approach YouTube is the way I approach my life. So I have to do the same thing in my real life. If there's a lot of chaos going on, then I need to have resolution. I can't continue to let it perpetuate and it not be fixed. It'll bug the shit out of me, because for a long time I did nothing but create chaos in my life. You know, when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I'm just not in that mode right now. If anything, I'm in a time of more reflection and peace and tranquility. That's I'm on the yin to the yang and the yang to the yin, you know.
Which is think why I think that we're so good together. We definitely balance each other out. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm going to take this mission and I'm going to just go succeed at it on certain things that I want to accomplish on here. And then sometimes I just get tired. I just get tired and it becomes old. It becomes stale.
Well,
I,
it does get that way, but lately there's been a lot of built up frustration, anxiety, disappointment, and it does need to be addressed. So it got to it heightened up, it peaked, and now we're coming back down. Because again, with the pattern stuff, there's a lot of personalities out here that are going through episodes of mania. They're absolutely manic, and they need a lot of these people really do need professional help, in my opinion. They need some therapy, some serious therapy.
um, I think, well, I think we do need therapy, everybody, but more so than that, I think we need people to be able to talk to. Have you ever come across anybody on here that you were just like, you just need someone to listen to you?
Oh yeah, that's kind of why I started clicking links, because you could just tell that
Mm.
that person needed somebody to talk to, and they also just needed somebody to listen to them. I mean, that's why a lot of us start these channels, because maybe in our real lives we feel like people just aren't listening to our ideas. And so artistically, we have this space to be able to create ideas and art and music and share them with everyone.
Right. Inspire each other. I'm taking notes. Inspire each other is definitely, I've met some really creative people on here, whether it be people who were like making memes and attacking me. I'm like, holy crap, that was a great attack against me. Like, I recognize the art and the time people take into it. So that in return inspires me. The one of the people I was most inspired by was Talcott Collections.
Yes, I mean that was an interesting, whoever, man or woman, that was able to use AI and troll all of us and turning us into little clips of our own little reels of movies. That was funny.
What do you guys need us to listen? Oh, this is Tommy. There, I thought I clicked DJM. Therapist is life changing. A lot of times people think of it as like, oh, you're so weak, you can't handle it. But when I was talking to somebody, they said to me, for me, this has been an opportunity for me to learn coping skills that I didn't understand before.
Okay, that's interesting. Break that down, because what do they mean by coping skills?
Like they learned how to recognize when they were in a situation where there had been anxiety, and then when that they were able to identify it, they understood because they had learned different coping techniques on, go to another room or journal or breathe or whatever, that they were now identifying, okay, this is it, this technique helps me. So I looked at therapy differently. I've never been to a therapist. I went to a counselor once, but that was more so I had ulterior motives and I needed to get a note from the counselor. So I had to I had to play the game.
You benefited from the experience, I'm sure, and you also got what you needed, though, right?
Yeah, right. I had to play the game. I had to go sit in there. I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to say I need this for? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
the freak says it's because you had a court ordered, Cynthia.
No, I
That's
didn't have
false.
it court ordered. Okay, guys. No, it's not that. I needed to get a letter so I didn't have to pay fees for my animal. I had to make them my emotional support dogs because I don't know. Is it the same for you guys up there if you rent an apartment? Like down here, they charge you $50 a dog per month rent for an
Oh,
apartment.
that's cheap in comparison to over here, but you clever little minx. So now
Yeah.
you
And so you have to put down like an extra $500 deposit. But if they're your emotional support dogs, and they have restrictions breeds, but if you have emotional support dog, they can't deny your breed no matter what it is. And I had a pit bull, so I needed to make him my emotional support animal, A, so I could get him in the apartment, and B, so I didn't have to pay all those fees. So I was thinking, okay, well, what am I going to say? Well, I love my dog. Like, how can you go in there and be like, I love my dog? Like, write me a letter. So I just had to talk about the reasons the dog brought me calmness and stuff. And he wrote me my letter. And it's for life. So everywhere I went after that, they couldn't mess with me about my pit bull. But I played the game, right? Like I had to go sit in there for a couple of days, a couple of visits, just to get this letter that I wanted. That's an example of what I mean by playing the game.
Mhm.
Like I wanted to get my dog in the apartment and I figured out the game. I figured out the ins and the outs of it. I figured out how to maneuver through it. And that's what you have to do here on YouTube. You have to figure out how to maneuver through it.
Well,
And
I liked it when on our last stream when you were talking about double dutch.
oh yeah. What? DJ M, you know, even though I'm always yelling at my dogs, I still love them dearly, and I wasn't gonna leave them alone. I ended up having them for 13 years.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to protect those little four-legged
Absolutely. So
animals.
earlier when you were talking about trial and error, it makes me think about the things that I've been through on here and how sometimes you can make these mistakes. And I'm speaking from my experience, but hopefully this resonates with others who are viewing it. Like it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up. Like don't beat yourself up about it. Don't beat yourself up about it.
Right, I think that's what this life fall is trial and error.
Definitely a trial and error. Cynthia, same. I yell at my dog constantly. Uh-oh. Snow said, oh wait, what is AA saying? How come on you how do you say Ashmere. You know it better. Her name Ashmere Ashina. This thing you
Oh, let's see here. Let me see if I can get this one right again. Ahamsa,
Asmina.
Ahamsa. I need to have her come up here one more time so I can pronounce it correctly.
I know I try call her AA, but I feel like that's kind of rude, you know? I feel like that's kind of rude. Oh my goodness. So another thing that's been happening on this game is that sometimes there will be beefs in the game of chess or checkers. Like sometimes people just get caught in the crossfire.
Oh yeah, I've been sniped in the crossfire. And I had to learn that shit the hard way, you know, on this game of YouTube where you think, oh, okay, maybe I can come over here and mediate between this conversation, and people don't always want that. You know, they want to take care of it amongst themselves, and it needs to be that way. I mean, we're all grown on here and we know better, but it's also the fun.
Mm.
Do you really want to come in and tap in on that double dutch, or are you going to get caught in the rope? And I've been caught in that rope so many times. So now I just sit back and I choose my battles wisely.
Along with these battles are also places that people need to come and have resolution. And sometimes you can't have resolution at your space because I'm beefing with so and so and they don't want to come here, and I can't have resolution at their space because we're beefing and I'm not going to go there. So there's always good grounds in the middle, mediations, neutral spots to meet at. And so it's good to be that sometimes.
I think that that's a mature approach when you can recognize that. I mean, I got to visit Venus Cupcakes channel last night to
Mm-hmm.
attempt some fantastic resolution between her and I, and it ended up manifesting into a really great conversation with everyone that decided to come up and have the talk with one another. And you know, we've been having issues with thou to a person that shall not be named. And
Uh-huh.
I had suggested that if at any time I asked her, because to be the mediator between the two of us, because this person feels like they can't trust me, and I don't trust them on their panel either. So and she was willing to oblige, which I thought was, she granted me the grace that I like to provide for other people, and it was nice to receive it in return. I really appreciated it.
Thank you. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch, and it was inspiring. I'm not sure if I'm there yet, if I have such grace in myself, but I wouldn't understand what that grace looked like if I didn't see it. And also to Venus for allowing you to come up there and have that good conversation. All right, I went ahead and opened up the panel, and we already have a guest, Yolanda. We must be the hottest.
Right on, let's go.
And the reason I say that is because I feel like we're a good place, a neutral spot for people to come and mediate their problems. Wouldn't you agree?
I 100% believe that. I'm all
Right.
for it.
Can I get a sound
Garbage.
check?
You guys are garbage. Yolanda has a chance to break off. She's still young. She can find her own and do a thing. Now, all dropping me last night looks a lot weirder because your punk ass muted me in the chat. And I had to sit here and not let DeFreak hear all the heinous things I was burning his fat, lying, stupid ass with. And whoever that fucking A something name is in the chat, I don't know who the fuck you are, bro. Whoever the fuck.
Oh my goodness. I feel like somebody's come in hot tonight. What do you say?
Oh yeah, he needs to vent. He's got to work
Oh,
it out.
he loved stage.
Oh, he's mad.
What did you say?
I know.
I'm
I don't
looking
know.
at Ahimsa. Oh, look, she's did it. Ahimsa. Oh, I'm gonna write it down right now. Ahimsa.
Ahimsa. Ahimsa.
Right?
She
Why
said
did
it's yoga. So that's why I'm trying to, as I'm reading it, it's like breath work in my, I'm guessing.
what? Well, Tommy, I was just giving you a second to take a break. You didn't have to dip off, right? Snow, jeez. Okay. Earlier, while in case he comes back, it seems like he was a little bit upset. If not, the panel is open. But hey, let's take a look at the Freaks comment. He said, I learned that with Cynthia and Gen X Jeff, no matter how bad you want some people to get along, they just don't sometimes.
That is a really good point. Not everybody's going to get along.
He is talking. I don't know. He was getting ready to say he was mad at something you said in the chat, but I was actually happy to see Tommy. So thank you for getting him upset that
Well,
he kind of
whatever is going on with him and himself, they need to work it out.
right. And you guys could come up here, but I don't think anybody knows what's really going on, Tomsters. Oh, you were playing with Tommy? Oh, see, sometimes when we're in the mood to play, the people that we want to play with aren't in the mood to play. That sucks. So I think along with understanding how to play the game is knowing when to play the game. However, I hate Cynthia. I hate all of you of this channel. Okay, thank you, Tommy. However, sometimes I feel like empathy is missing from some of these panels, and people are just want to play the game, just want to play the game, just want to play the game, and aren't really reading the room. So yes, Freak, sometimes people aren't going to get along. It's just how life is. Tommy is mad at the world, taking it out on us. Oh,
So I pulled up some interesting articles, as we do, right, for our streams
yes,
together. And that
absolutely.
is one of the things that it talks about is the lack of empathy.
Really?
So yeah, let me read. Let's see here. It says, if they had engaged in uncivil communication in field and scales measuring emotion regulation difficulties, use of different emotion regulation strategies, and various individual traits, the results show that emotion regulation difficulties were associated with high levels of online disinhibition. This, in turn, was associated with reports of uncivil communication. So, do you remember that word disinhibition that I brought up last time? That's the reduction or loss of self control and restraint in an individual's behavior, thoughts, or emotions. So, we've been seeing a lot of disinhibition going on these last few weeks, right?
Yes. I don't know. I saw something about this. Careful playing the game. YouTube war turns deadly. Sin City Manny kills. Didn't remember we were talking and I kind of was like, what? Sin City Manny kills YouTuber Finney and his wife. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
That's
Actually,
wild. That's
on
wild.
take it. I see that was coming through my feed earlier.
Well, that's kind of my point I was making on I think it was when I was on Venus's. Like, if you're gonna act a whole damn fool on here, bet that you can have repercussions for your bullshit. You know, people are like freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Well, guess what? When somebody sees you, they're gonna tell you or potentially show you their right to protect themselves or their opinion about it, and something like that can happen. You know, that's just, you have to be careful.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find a news article. What? That is insane. But we've seen this before, though, on social media. We've seen it on YouTube Live. Wizard,
This
if you can see a news article or something that we can watch, because if it's anything from like a local news, we can view it and it won't be an issue. However, If it's like somebody else's content, it will be an issue, because this would be interesting, because especially since we're talking about playing the game, and I was just mentioning how sometimes you got to realize when people don't want to play the game.
Well, you know how they've brought up the term Machiavellian.
Can you explain that to me? Because wasn't that Tupac's Machiavelli? Is that
Yeah,
the
it's a worldview shaped by manipulators and manipulators, or excuse me, manipulators and manipulated, lacking sympathy. Manipulated individuals also engage in manipulation, lack of regard for conventional morality, indifferent to actions like lying and cheating, emphasis on pragmatic problem solving over ideological commitments, utilizing power strategies, tactic component for personal goals rather than ideological ones. So there's a lot of that going on. Um, Lack of any type of empathy. And I think that when you were bringing that up about myself, I try to have empathy for people. And sometimes that could be my downfall, is that I have too much empathy and not more common sense. So I've learned to have more awareness and common sense before I act with the empathy.
absolutely agree. It's hard though sometimes on social media, because you don't know what's real. Like I was saying, somebody could pretend to be one person, and then they could also pretend to be another person. I've heard stories of a content creator who said he used to make a himself, then he would create alt accounts, and then he would go in the same chat and get into a fight with himself to trick the host into making him a moderator. And in reality, it was him all in there. He would be 4 or 5 different people just arguing with himself.
Oh, I've been very suspicious of content creators that do that. And I just will sit back and watch their chat, and I can't help but think to myself, I think he's arguing and creating a show for themselves in that chat.
Absolutely. Let me get we got another person here in the back, and the actual, who was the people that used the messenger, but back in the, didn't they have different titles? Like think like this, if Bex was here, she know in the Last Kingdom. Gosh, when were the Vikings? What era is that? Wizard. Wizard. Ah, never mind.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking to him.
No, I was talking to you. What? Because I think he did. You want to come on stream or just drop the thing? He dropped it in the back. I don't know. He's not talking and he's not cammed up.
Okay,
So
well, on the Vikings, it's the Middle Ages.
All right. So on the Middle Ages, were they considered messengers or did they have a different title?
What do you mean? Were they considered messengers?
Like, would they have a different, like they were messengers and they would deliver, but did they also have like a Lord's shaped title or something along with that, or were they just messengers? Because I can see, I considered wizard or messenger, but something a little bit more. Like, is there like a lead messenger or something like that?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the different rankings of what you're talking about.
See, well, hang on. I'm watching this super quick, so hang on real quick.
Dang it, I was on mute. Well, in the meantime, the link was dropped. If anybody'd like to come up and talk with us about any of the maneuvers that you use here on YouTube, or some of the interesting ones that you've observed, let us know, because each day you got to learn new tricks of the trade, and we'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. All right, so I got it coming up. Wait. If you want to take a look at it, should we take a look at it? Because this kind of is in line with what we're speaking about. You're on mute, Yolanda, if you're trying to talk.
Doggone it, you still have your overlay.
I know.
Okay.
Because I had Wizard up there, but see, I'm still backstream working and trying to get this because he like sent it a unique way. Do you want to see the clip?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Making sure you can see. This is coming from innewsnow.com. Local news now, live at 6. Couple killed after apparent online streamer clashes on Las Vegas Strip. Wasn't there was just a Las Vegas trip and everybody's like, ooh, Tommy's going up there to take care of Flo.
I'll be honest with you. When I heard all of that was going on, I was a little anxious about that meetup.
Really?
Truthfully. Yeah. I just thought it just seemed a little, I would have been cautious on that because Vegas is a whole game in itself. You've got alcohol, sex, drugs,
Gambling.
Sin City, anything rolls down there.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. All right. This happened on Sunday's murder of a husband and wife stems from an online beef between two YouTube streamers arguing over, among other things, copyright infringements. The 8 News Now investigators' review of hours worth of archived video footage. Woo.
Well, that hits a little close to home.
Las Vegas. Finney the legend caught up in that YouTube feud with the person who appears to shoot Finney right on camera.
8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne joining us in studio tonight to help break down this deadly online beef. Kyle?
Brian, Denise, Finney the legend has relatively few subscribers on his main YouTube page, about 4,000. But that didn't make the virtual brawl with his online rival any less real.
I heard there's one of my biggest fans here in town. I'm dying to see him.
Dying to see him, an eerie online foreshadowing of what was to come. YouTuber Sin City Manny on the hunt for another YouTuber known as Finney the Legend.
Manny in here. Yesterday was here.
Punch in the air.
Thirsty, hungry. Gotta come in under a fake name though.
Mocking Sin City Manny at what may have been his last meal in Las Vegas or ever.
Don't dine and dash, says TT.
Eating and drinking with his wife and friends before he was killed.
I want to say Sin City family and Manny. Sin City family and Manny.
Finney's YouTube stream with someone who sounds a lot like the President of the United States trolling Manny and a group known as the Sin City Family over a copyright warning which may have been at the center of the dispute, as explained on Finney's stream by one of his online guests.
If anyone needs to be struck down, it should be Manny. That's who needs the copyright strikes.
Man.
That's who needs the axe.
Part of an internet subculture that might seem strange if you're not part of it, but apparently very real to those involved.
You want a bandana like this? You gotta be diehard, Sin City family.
That's Manny on Finney's stream 5 days ago, downtown near Fremont, where Manny seems to have staked a claim as king of Fremont.
He's the least informed Vegas person out there.
This type of thing that Finney the legend and his online cast of characters would criticize.
Better believe it. You come to my city and think I'm not gonna show up?
And to which Manny seems to have taken great offense, playing out in an unthinkable online conclusion streamed on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
That whole drama plan.
Okay, that's exactly what that's what I thought could have happened when they all ended up in Vegas. And
oh my
God, did go down. But didn't it feel a little bit weird when he pulled up that clip of the online panel next to us being here on this panel?
I was looking and I was like, who's on the panel? And I was like, do I even recognize any of these?
Girl, you would know before I would. Did you know anybody on there?
No, but he didn't. I cut it off too soon. What he was saying, he was saying that people are still going and subscribing to the channels. That is wild. Hang on, I'm pulling it back up so we can see that was wild.
Yeah, that's a little close to home. I mean, you've even seen folks show their pieces up on here too. You know, it takes one, drink too many, one hit too much of that pop pass. Like, gee whiz, that's wild. Thank you, Wizard, for sharing that with us.
For sure, Wizard. Thank you. And I'm trying to pull it back up really quick. I hate advertisements. Hang on. But listen, we might have messed up though. Because girl, and then did you hear what the issue was? Copyright infringement. What's going on? Tommy just lost his channel. Snafu Snaps just lost his channel. Everybody screaming, "No, you struck him! No, you struck him!" And isn't it wild to see another panel verse having the exact same issues?
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is what I was pointing out over at Venus's. Like, if you're gonna act a whole damn fool, best be prepared for your actions. That stuff, what goes around comes around. You never know.
Here, okay. We're gonna watch this. Apparently he's turned himself in. And you have to like ask yourselves because this oh, what up, homie? Did you see what we just played?
Yeah, I've been watching.
Hang on, let me do this one.
I didn't hear about that until just now. That's wild. How you doing, Jalen?
I'm trying to do it,
Jalen. All right. Can y'all hear me well?
Yes.
Okay.
So, did you know any of the content creators that this involved?
Nah, I never heard of them until whenever this story broke. I think it was earlier today I first seen it. So, yeah. I seen they was talking about it crazy on TikTok. I was like, yeah, man, these seem like just some I mean, you say some nobodies, but not, you know, it's somebody to somebody, of course, but
absolutely.
Nothing like you think this is something that would happen to like a bigger creator, not a person with like 4,000 subscribers. Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought.
Beef be real though, and we done seen a lot of times like people scratch over this shit. People fight in real life over what's being said on YouTube. So you got to understand, like during the pandemic, a lot of people came to the internet, and some of them wasn't necessarily of the internet at first. But these seem to be two internet guys, so it's kind of like I don't know. Then I seen a video. It's so sad. I really wish the wife had just like ran away, but she was so in shock, and she just confronted him, and then he shot her too. I don't think he was even there to shoot her because he would have shot her first. She was blocking his way. It's a sad situation for sure. It's definitely a sad situation. But what's so serious? Copyright infringement. Like I think people have let stuff get to their head, man. Especially when it comes to having 10 people watching you and reassuring you that what you're saying is right and all this stuff like that. Sometimes that can go to people's head. A lot of people don't have 10 real friends to tell them that type of shit. So to have somebody be able to do that too and make them feel a certain type of way, and then somebody comes and messes up that bubble or that world, yeah.
You just said so many good things, so much good advice just in that short amount of time, because that's just it. Just recently, Cynthia, how many people told someone to put the sword down? More than 5, right? Maybe even more than 10. Just sound advice on somebody that it was way out of bounds in their behavior.
Hang on 1 second. Let me get the Hi, can I get a mic check, please?
Oh yes, hi.
Hi, Kate. Hi. I don't think I've spoken to you before.
I came up because I was timed out by Snow in the chat, and I really, if we could maybe get some
resolution.
Resolution, absolutely.
Resolution. I'm sorry. Am I not speaking right?
It's okay. Yeah. I will make sure to go back in there right now. Give me 1 second.
But that Snow and I have had difficulties. Like we were friends for a very long time, and she was very caring and everything. And I think she just got caught up in the snafu tactics. And if she wants to find some resolve with me, that's why I'm doing this publicly. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Snow, and I would like resolution or restitution, or I don't know what it is.
I love it. Well, I did check. I think she just deleted your message. Let me see. Let me hit on you real quick. Let me go to your channel and let me make sure you're getting taken care of, because I do not want anything to happen like that.
But I'm offering, if she wants to come up and talk to me, maybe we could find some,
Absolutely. But right now, we're going to go ahead and continue on with what we got going on with this story, this breaking story. Jalen's coming up. He's brought in some really good information. And I kind of want to stick on to this, but I love that you want to do this. And hopefully we can get a chance to do this another night, but it's just not going to be something that's going to happen tonight. Not because I don't want it to, just because we're kind of moving and grouping right now with a good story.
Okay.
But I got you back in the chat, and hopefully you guys work it out soon.
Thank you.
You know what though, Kimberly? Is this Kimberly?
Kate. It's Kate.
Kate. Oh, okay. Well, Kate, thank you for coming up. I'm proud of you for coming up and making the attempt. I appreciate you doing that.
Well, you're more than welcome to sit up here. It's just that we're going to go about this right now. I mean, more than welcome for sure. But have you heard anything about this story, Kate?
No, but I'm and this is why I think that and believe me, I love Tommy, but when he did that threat to Flo and everything, things like that are serious, and I don't think it just really affected me, because Mystic went to jail for something similar, and this whole YouTube environment needs to be modified, or maybe not even modified, just I don't even know how to say this, but
why would you tweak the machine? The machine ain't the reason why people decide to use these platforms to do the things they do. Like, let's think about the man, and not the person. I mean, the dude that shot him, he's definitely wrong. But this man was literally taunting this man coming into his city. Like, you have to have certain precautions being done if you're gonna live and move a certain way like that. You can't just go out and dry ass taunt people in their city and think, because it might not have been him. Let's just say somebody else that's watching, that likes him, that's a fan. You know how people go to other channels and start becoming like the fanboys of the person that's beefing with whoever you beefing with or whatever. I've seen that happen plenty of times. So you never know who could be the person that's coming after you, and you just putting yourself out there like, yeah, I don't care. I'm in a city. Yeah. I got my wife with me, man. Like, it's sad because the wife is the innocent person in this shit. I don't know if she knows exactly what he's doing, but go ahead, my fault.
No, so he because I just saw the news article. Like I say, I just literally learned about this on the stream. So it was him and his wife there too, and he got them both.
Yeah, the wife and him. It was a double homicide. Homie got arrested already and all.
Yeah, no, we got this one coming real quick too. I got so many. Here we go.
A suspect is in custody just hours after a deadly shooting outside the Bellagio late last night that left 2 people dead. 41-year-old Manuel Ruiz turned himself into Henderson police this morning. Authorities say Ruiz and the victims knew each other and had a heated argument that started on social media before the shooting. Now, we do have a screen grab from the surveillance video showing a confrontation outside the hotel, followed by a man in sunglasses and hat.
Yeah, let me make this bigger so y'all can. Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to really see.
Confrontation outside the hotel, followed by a man in sunglasses and hat, believed to be Ruiz, opening fire. Fox Eye's Mike Allen has the latest.
The strip is back open now while the investigation continues. It appears to have been right about there where we're zooming into where the shooting happened. That's according to the video that we've been showing you. Now, here's what police tell us. Around 10:40 last night, officers heard gunfire coming from outside Bellagio. They hopped out of their squad car, ran toward it, and they found 2 people with gunshot wounds. They died at the scene. But the man firing shots appears to be a YouTuber running a local account called Sin City Manny. Now, what I've learned this morning watching some of their YouTube videos is that he and another local YouTuber who goes by Finney were in a public disagreement for the last year or so over copyright issues, with Manny getting a couple of Finney's videos taken down. What we saw in the video looked to be tensions boiling over on a live stream on the victim's channel, dozens of people around. It does appear the other person who was shot and killed was a woman who grabbed the camera after the first victim was shot. And what I'm learning online is that she was the first victim's wife. At the end of the video, after a gunshot, you can hear her scream. She drops the camera to the ground. Now, this is all what I learned from watching the content of these two men on the YouTube channels. Metro has not confirmed whether these two people were involved, whether this was the cause of it, the YouTube longstanding feud.
Shit.
From watching content from both of their channels. And we have not heard from Metro whether or not this was some sort of planned meetup. But I did also watch a recording of a live stream that has since been deleted showing Manny driving around talking about finding his, quote, biggest fan at a bar on the Strip. The comments suggested he was talking about Finney, the other YouTuber, which would suggest this could have been premeditated. Reporting from the Strip, Mike Allen, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Wow.
That's crazy. There's a lot of shit that goes down in that city. I've only been there once, and I didn't like energetically how it felt. And maybe there's something to that. I don't know. But definitely not anywhere I'd want to return, to be honest. And seeing this kind of stuff makes me even more hesitant.
It is so weird that it's happening now. Jalen, did you see where Tommy was in on a live stream and he and Flo were going, well, he was mad at Flo. And then he pulled out his pew pew.
I know the Tom.
No, I haven't seen that. No.
You hadn't?
Nah, I don't. Yeah.
I know Tommy was joking, but
that shit is definitely can be serious. It can definitely be taken seriously. So
yeah,
I would do it.
I know Tommy was joking, but it's just the fact that like there's some sort of dichotomy between reality and YouTube, where in real life you wouldn't do these things, or else you might end up in jail. But on YouTube, you're allowed to get away with it. And so I don't know what it is, but
technically, I don't think you are allowed to pull a firearm on a live. I remember actually being on flows and somebody pulled out a BB gun or something like that, and his live being shut down one time. So I don't think that's actually that wasn't. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that can actually be allowed. Yeah. I think still.
Well,
it's a way you go about doing things.
It was
you
the
got
threat
people
before the fire shot. It was the threat to Flo and his wife. So, and I know he was joking around, but still, in real life, if you make a threat and you have an action, that could be considered a felony in real life. So,
I think that's a felony even if you do it over the internet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it changes because we on the internet. I think the thing is that it's less likely to be reported on the internet. It's less likely to be taken seriously on the internet, things like that. So you don't see things going to fruition as much here because, people just being characters and people kind of look at it like, oh, well, this person just pops off and says crazy shit, so I'm not going to pay any mind to it. But all it takes that one person to be like, you know what, I'm going to sue or I'm going to press charges. And shit, you never know how the justice system works from that moment.
Just this week, somebody went on their live stream, read out my phone number, put it in their chat, made sure to put it on the screen. Like, these people, like, they say it's just YouTube and you can't get hurt. And we just see these egos, these personalities, these attitudes of you should bow down to me, you should apologize, and I'm not doing this until you apologize, and setting standards for other people. Like, you need to pay attention to that type of behavior. That is not healthy behavior. All right, guys.
I just want to say it's been prophesied many times over that energetically things will get more and more intense. And so it's good to have these kinds of conversations to bring the awareness to ground yourself and be aware and protect yourself because it is, in my opinion, it's just going to get worse. I really feel like that is what's going on.
Yeah, you living in a world where, everybody got something to say about somebody else. So when it comes to that self accountability and things like that, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'm wrong in this aspect, or I didn't do shit. Because once you feel like you've been wrong, you go as wrong as you possibly can go with it. You like there's no holds bars now. They done did this, dox me, or they done did this or did that. So I feel like the mentality is becoming a lot less empathetic and more apathetic, So everybody is kind of just like, I don't give a fuck about what everybody else got going on. It's about me and mine and shit. And that is great for individualism, but when it comes to community, kind of sucks.
Ahim Shah. I wrote it down. We were just discussing two YouTube content creators who had a beef. One of them had a small channel of about 4,000 people and got upset that another content creator had stuff. They did copyright infringements, had lives taken down. One of them went to the city of Las Vegas. The one that lived there says, "What are you're coming to my city?" They ended up meeting on the strip, and he pulled out a pew pew and unalived him and the content creator's wife. That is, and before we started talking about this, Yolanda was getting into the Machiavellian thought. Yolanda, are you still there, girl?
I'm here. Mm-hmm.
What about old Nicholas Machiavelli, huh?
Well, do you feel like that is that type of behavior is what we see a lot here online?
I mean, you can say some form of a lot of different philosophies and ideologies. Because, I mean, everybody's trying to be like the great Marcus Aurelius and be stoic and be like Julius Caesar and be a great king or emperor or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, just all these different people. Everybody's trying to pull from the past because nobody really has a lot of merit to stand on these days. Nobody's trying to build a name for themselves. Instead, even our entertainment and shit has dwindled to a point to where, like, then we got people just remaking songs and remaking movies and remaking I mean, it's like we hit a golden age maybe in the 90s or early 2000s, and from that moment, you know what I'm saying, nothing original, nothing but people trying to copy or be carbon copies of other people and other things and stuff like that. So yeah, Machiavelli is one of those people. You know what I'm saying? He's how to be a prince, and using certain tactics to work your way to the top, while also, you know what I'm saying, playing the role of being an observant learner, an apprentice of sort, but knowing when to step into the role of leader. I think it can be used in a way of good, but at the same time, I think most people use it in a way to be manipulative, coercive, different shit like that. Because I mean, that's where it's more utilized. If you look at how people analyze war and relationships and everything, most things are transactional to people. What can they get out of it? Not what can I how can I serve this situation? And until we get to that point of service where we all trying to do better for our own better people, and you know what I'm saying, like, not only build yourself up, but find ways to give back. We tend to just keep getting and getting and getting and piling on, I honestly think those people have like a hole that they can't fill, so they try to fill it with material things, possessions, and things like. That's why I say you got to step into the world of the unknown and the unlogic and everything else, and find yourself. Who are you once all this shit is over with? What's on the inside? What's the inside layers of who you are? Are you, or are you the things that you're trying to make yourself be? This is how I get this new car. I'll be the flyest person in my friend group, or if I take these trips and post them on this and that, everybody will think I'm living great. Like, I don't know. Like I say, I feel like it's a lot of people not knowing themselves out here, or really just being downright evil. I don't know, but I think
Yeah,
it's a lot
there's
more good people out here than bad. So I really think it's a bunch of lost people out here, man.
it's been a lot of demoralizing behavior that has been running rampant. And
Mhm.
with these devices, it's so easy to influence people with all of these immoral things to influence one another with, and it just that's where I come in on trying to bring awareness to that. Like at what point do you draw the line and say no more and just disengage and not even participate with it anymore? But um,
Actually, oh, I'm sorry.
go for it.
That's a great segue into what I want to talk about just for real briefly, and that is this. There's a gentleman down there in my chat trying to come up to stage. His name is Snafu Snaps, and if you know who he is, you know who he is. And if you don't, you should know that he is a gentleman that is not liked by a lot of people. He comes up and he says vulgar things to people. And a lot of people don't want to be around him. That is not how I feel. However, in the middle of a show that I have on a weekly basis that I produced, I will not allow that chaos to come up to my stage. So for Goblin who thinks that I'm gaslighting snaps, that is not true. I'm setting boundaries. You see, if I allow this man to come up, he is going to come up and he's going to spurg out as he does each and every time he hits a panel. He's going to raise emotions, he's going to provoke emotions, and he's going to push buttons. Whether it be malicious or non-malicious, it's going to happen. And we're talking about a same community as us on the other side of YouTube, which really might not be that far because they're in Las Vegas and we just had a crew in Las Vegas too. We are talking about when we push each other's buttons, it can go too far and it can go to real life. So what I'm not going to do, Goblin, is I'm not going to have somebody who pushes buttons come up and talk about it on a conversation when that's not how you handle things. And if you can't see that, Goblin, I feel sorry for you. And I'm going to ask tonight in my prayers that the Lord give you the eyes to see things differently, because right now you're not seeing clearly, son. And as for you, Snaps, you know what you are. I have people on this panel who will not sit with you, and you are not disrupting a show that I put work into. If you have a problem with that and you want to go spread lies about me, please feel free to. Hit the like button on the way out the door. Did y'all see Red 40's comment where he says, I hope you are considering this could be a false flag to put bigger regulations or shut down the internet? Just an opinion.
Oh yeah, I've been saying that for a few years now too. I say enjoy it while it's here, while we're able to do it like this. But I feel that these regulations will be coming here shortly. And I do feel like what's happening in LA. I'm in California. My parents are down there right now. They showed me a little bit of that footage. I've been watching other journalists, civilian journalists, take on it, and to me, it's no different than these other psyop events that want to make us feel like we need more security. Um, I agree.
We are
I
so
mean,
blessed to have the internet. I'm sorry, Jen, go ahead.
I was gonna just say, as far as LA is concerned, man, I think a lot of it is organic. Cause I mean, we have people literally stocking Home Depots and high school graduations and shit like that, man. That does a lot to try to demoralize the people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hunting down illegal immigrants or whatever. And this ain't nothing that really new at all. I went to school and seen when the ice would come and shit, and people had to dip here in Texas. So I understand that shit. Like, at some point, we gotta we could do things a certain way. Like right now, people are being separated from their families, all type of shit, and all in the guise of getting rid of all these criminals. Meanwhile, it's criminals that don't need nothing. They got people over here working for them and everything. Like, shit, we got a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying, here in America that help enable everything that goes on in South America and all these other countries because of the demands that we want, how we want life to be here in America. We live so great because everybody else suffers a lot of times, and we don't really understand
Mm-hmm.
that shit as when it comes to global economy and shit like
Mm.
that. But I feel for those people. I just say that, and I ain't gonna say everything just right. Like it ain't no agitators out there at all. Of course, you know it's agitators out there, but I think a lot of this shit is organic though.
Well, it's an urban jungle down there. When I go down to visit family in LA, it gives me anxiety because you could just feel trapped in there, and there's nowhere for you to go. It's so congested. It's making me a little bit concerned about my parents being down there right now because if
Yeah.
those freeways get blocked, they're stuck down there. Um, so um, that's why I'm glad that I don't live in an area where I have to worry about that too much. But I can see where these events are going to be occurring in these large cities, and you'll see stuff like that happening. And isn't it interesting how they're using those self-driving vehicles as part of the roadblocks that they're creating down there? It reminds me of that movie that the Obamas did. What was it, about like 4 years ago? You guys know
Talking
what
about
movie
don't
I'm?
look up
No.
or
Is
leave
that
the
what it
world
was called?
behind. Might be
Leave the
leave the
world
world behind.
behind. Yeah, when all those Teslas start going crazy and they block all the
Yeah.
freeways. Like I started to already see that. I felt, if anything, like when Cynthia and I were sitting up here and watching the news, sitting uh, showing a panel, and then being beside that, it felt surreal, and that's what I was seeing when I saw those cars going up in flames. I thought this feels a little like I've seen this already. It's,
To me, it's surreal that it's like we just saw ourselves. Like for a second, I felt like we were looking at a panel of us. The layout looks like ours. The same. You can't play my footage, my content. Just today, somebody sent me a message. I didn't give you permission to share my stream because I shared it on my community wall. To me, that was like the most insane experience I just had. Like, man, they were really like this. This isn't just us. So let's stay there. This isn't just us. This is a problem on the internet. So we got to understand that's what it is.
Yeah, the internet
That's
created a lot of instant celebrities, man. And to a certain degree it's a good thing for like entrepreneurship and all that shit, and even some morale boost in certain ways and stuff for people to be able to venture out to new ways of getting income and not having to necessarily work the
Mhm.
traditional workforce thing. But at the same time, these things kind of like, yeah, I was watching like the streamer university, and you could see
Mhm.
like everybody was in a character mode. Like you didn't really get to see a lot of the real them, and I feel like these things, and I think that's the curse of being a content creator to a certain degree, because you feel like you have to live up to whatever your audience expectations are, and it's not necessarily the thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that might stunt your creativity. That might stunt your way of thinking, and I don't think that's a good thing for anybody to chase like views, money, doing this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think everything should be a level of, service, and, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to give to the people. And then a level of, you know what I'm saying, artisticness and creativity. And, you know what I'm saying, giving a piece of like who you are, using yourself as a, you know what I'm saying, vessel for art,
Mhm.
a vessel for thinking, a vessel for persuading, a vessel for whatever you want it to be, of course. But we all have to, you know what I'm saying, do our part to you know, make the world better by contributing our attributes, not what we think the world thinks our attributes should be. And 'cause I think that's where everything gets confused and twisted. I mean, we get caught up with all these personalities and we want to be like them instead of just being us. and doing what's gonna work for us. And a lot of people, you like I say, feel like they have to be something. You know what I'm saying? As far as like charismatic or this or that to do these type of things or be out in these social media platforms. But sometimes you can just be bland. You know, so like I don't think I'm very bland when it comes to how I talk about things and how I do things. I really don't give it a lot of emotion to it. I just try to come at it logically as much as possible. And it's, unless we're talking about things that are, you know what I'm saying, past logic, of course. But
Mm.
for the most part, I try to keep it there. And what is has utility for us moving forward as a people. And I don't think a lot of people go at it with that type of thought process.
Earlier we were talking about how, you know, the empathy's just gone. You were speaking of logic. And even sometimes it's hard to recognize what's real on YouTube. You have to definitely build up this discernment.
Yeah, cause I definitely think for playing character, it's all about the guy. Like most people don't come out with their names, of course. I mean, you know,
Mhm.
some people that tell you their names as you know watch their streams. You'll get to see their personality, who they are. But for some, it's really no personality there. I think the people who tend to have the most people following them is because they like the person. It's not
Right.
really the content. Most 9 times out of 10, it's not necessarily all that. You have to be likable to a certain degree, and for everybody, it's not necessarily. Uh, you can't use somebody else's attributes in order to be liked the same way. Like it might not work for you the same way, but there is something I believe in every person that can be used to be likable, you know, or whatever. But I don't think being likable is necessarily the best thing for people sometimes. Sometimes being just real, straightforward yourself, you know, these things that you know, reacting the way you react, not reacting the way you think you should react, and things like that. Like those do more good for people's interactions than a lot of this character shit that we do on here when it comes to interacting on the panel first verse or whatever. You know, even though I don't really interact as much on this side of the panel verse as I used to, at least. But yeah, you know, I think we got to really have the real conversations. Just be blunt about it. Say how you feel, no matter if it is going to offend a person. But at the same time, like, why keep going to these people to offend them? At the same time, like,
Right.
I won't be abrasive to anybody. I don't think that's becoming of a gentleman. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's nice to hear that. It's really nice to hear that.
There are men that will come in here and they'll be like, well, because you act like a man, I'm going to call you every horrible name. I'm going to make live after live about you. I'm going to just shit on you. It's because you're making me do it, though, because you act like a man, you talk like a man, and you started it. And all I can think is you're not a man. Like the lines are blurred, but they're also like men are handling situations like men, but they're not realizing that they're talking to women. And they say, well, you don't act like a woman like I think you should act. So therefore, you're not my definition of woman. So you're not a woman. So I don't have to treat you that way. Whereas I believe that a real man knows women, all women. There's no one generic Barbie woman. There's several different types of women. And a real man would know that.
Yeah, and plus you wouldn't spend your time like trying to hash out a disagreement yelling at a woman. You know, I mean, if you really care that much and you want to, you know, fix the problem, whatever it is, you got to first make sure that you understand whatever the issue is from her perspective. If you don't understand what her perspective is, even if you feel like it's straight bullshit or whatever, you don't want to give it the mind or time of day. I know people tend to feel like, you know, listening to women or whatever is some type of, you know, gay shit or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's actually quite helpful as far as just basic interaction with women and stuff. You'll realize when, all right, maybe I shouldn't even insert myself in this conversation, as opposed to doing so. Because I mean, like, women high side, men high side. It's certain things that men gonna say amongst each other about women that they would well, now it's out there, but it used to would never be said. Regardless, you didn't go expose who the hoe was or who the classy chick that wouldn't let nobody hit. We talked about that amongst each other, and it was supposed to stay in that group. Same with women, I believe. I don't know per se. I've seen some stuff, you know what I'm saying, from time to time, but I can't speak for all women, of course, or speak for women in general, you know what I'm saying, or at all. But for my anecdotal experiences, women talk about these same things. Oh, this man, this dude, that, all that stuff like that, and their interactions with men and stuff like that. And they'll high side. It could be, they could have been head over heels over a dude, but be saying, "Oh, I was playing it cool," and you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. It all depends on the person and what they think is socially acceptable in their friend group, their immediate circle. So I think that all the hot side on the internet is people trying to play that Mac role, that cool role, that player role. I'm the pickup artist. I'm the this guy. When most men shit are terrible with women, terrible with talking to women, terrible with learning how to please a woman. You know what I'm saying? In any way, shape, or form, like, because you don't actually try to do this thing for the pleasure of a woman or the satisfaction of a woman or for the love and acceptance of that woman. It's for, you know, the kudos of having a beautiful woman on your arm, or for the satisfaction of having something that you feel like is yours. When we gotta understand, we all living on borrowed time here, man. And you're supposed to be making soul connections. You're supposed to feel like one, not possession ownership type shit, but more like companionship, union type shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a difficult understanding to get to. I believe. I don't think I've necessarily got there completely, but I'm married. I feel like I found my other half, my rib. You know, those references. So I think it's a journey into you gotta take it every day at a time. And for men, it's accepting that you need that. You need that partner. You don't need multiple women. You don't need to be by yourself. You don't need to have a bunch of guy friends and shit, even though it'd be cool to have that, of course, because you definitely need to have that interaction. I think all that is healthy, but it has to be balanced. Like too much red pill, you might overdose. Too much blue pill, you might overdose type shit. Like take your medications adequately. You know what I'm saying?
And that's something a lot of people don't like to do because they don't like the way the medication makes them feel. So I like how you bring up soul connections. That's something that we've talked about. I've talked about on panels, but probably not as much as we should. A lot of times people think, well, if I'm a woman, you're a woman, we should have the same, and we should all, if it's down for me, you should defend me, or I should defend you, or if I like them, you should like them. And I think it's important to understand that you're not going to have a soul connection with everybody. Some people have soul connections, and that doesn't necessarily mean like hanky-panky, romantic. Like there could be a motherly love, a brotherly love, a sisterly love. You're going to find those, but you don't have to have them with everyone.
Well, and I think that a lot of folks that you can tell don't even understand what you just said. The sacred description of those different relationships, they don't even understand what that is. And I enjoy having those types of friendships and relationships in my life, those bonds with one another. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Absolutely. And I mean, you just be cautious, but and if it's your soul tie, it's your soul tie. There's just so much going on. And you, again, Kate, I'm sorry that you're having these problems with whomever you're having with, okay? But Kate, and you did come up here and try to handle that. However, Kate, this is a show that we plan out on a weekly basis. This isn't just an open panel. This is a show that where we're going to stay on topic. And I'm sorry if that seems harsh to some people, but it's how I operate. This is in episode 9. That means I put 9 weeks into this project, and I've got 99 million more to go. So, Kate, I can't allow your beef, your problems up on here right now. And we've never watched Johnny Carson or who are the famous talk people or people on The View, an audience member get up and be like, oh my God, I don't like this other girl in the audience. Please bring her up here and let's hash it out, Kate. And I hope you can understand that. I really, really do. And if you don't, there's nothing I can do about that, Kate. All I can do is convey to you what the message I'm trying to get across. So please feel free to keep it going in the chat, but please understand, Kate, that it's not healthy for you. And that's what we're up here talking about. We just talking about people who beefed and they just got so involved in it that they actually took the life. Like there are families devastated tonight, Kate, from this app that we're sitting on, from this beef that you're having. There are families destroyed, not just the family of the victims, but the family of the suspect. For what? To push a live button? For what? So I can have 20 in the chat? I hope I get more likes than everybody else I know. Kate and others, not just you, Kate, myself as well. Sometimes we got to put the sword down, and there's no dishonor in retreat. And that is something I've learned throughout life. That's one of the lessons I've learned on playing the game of life.
Yeah, that was a great lesson this week. Put the sword down.
Mm-hmm. I made sure to drop Jalen's link in the chat. Jalen goes over news stories. I was watching that story too, Jalen, that you just did about the mom who brought her son all of that tactical gear. That's the most insane story. So if you want to hear more about what's going on, make sure to tap into Jalen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be actually taking a little break though. But yeah, I got plenty of content for people to check out. So definitely check it out if you are intrigued in any way, shape, or form. I talk about different things from politics to race relations, economics, all that, different crimes, yeah, all that. So definitely mess with me, man, if y'all want to. But as far as what we were talking about, man, I definitely think as content creators, especially, you gotta try to your best to stick to whatever your niche is, whatever your thing is in this space. If it's commentary on different stuff, then yeah, you might be a little bit more involved and susceptible to different things happening within your I guess panel verse sector, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, if you go like the topic route, like how I do it, I talk about stuff far away from me. You know what I'm saying? I do talk about some local things as well, but for the most part, I try to stay away from anything that happened immediately in my city, just because not even take. You know what I'm saying? I think I could do it in a respectable way, but just to not even bring that energy in the first place, because some people don't know how to respect journalism, even if it's independent journalism, because I mean it's still an art form. I think we have to understand that everybody's not there to tell their stories, especially the poor. The poor and the mistrodden, the mishappen, never tell their stories for the most part. We always hear these things from the winner side and the winner's point of view. That's how history has been told, and it's mostly geared toward the wealthy, the haves, not the have-nots. So I think that's mainly my purpose is to try to tell the story of the have-nots. To tell it from the point of view of people who are trying to get a leg up in the game, a leg up in whatever game, whether it be life, success, the YouTube, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been around when people was, small channels and went to big channels.
Mm.
Shoot, didn't ever see the same success myself, but I could say I was on panels with a lot of decent names, I guess, people that people definitely are following, and hundreds of people in their live chats all the time, and thousands even for some people. But
Nice.
I also think that if you ain't learning something, and not only it ain't gotta be YouTube wise, it ain't gotta be you don't have to utilize it to gain anything particular as far as like physical monetary, but it could just be an understanding
Mm.
of a different way of life, understanding of a different way of thinking. I think all that shit is useful in the long run of life, because you never know where that bit of information could come in handy at. So I love it. I love just the interaction with people. I love the fact that there was a period where we all, the only was that shit COVID shut shit down, and hell, we got
Mhm.
a lot of free time on our hands. And different people got to, really get their shit off, and we understood different perspectives in a more real way. Because it's one thing to have people, cover something on a news article once or twice, but to have real people telling you their experiences every day, yeah, that's big. And I think that
Mm.
instead of being empathetic and trying to understand it, I think a lot of times we done got to this whole judgmental shit, and I'm doing better than them, or they doing better than me. I need to get like this, and we got to get off that shit, man. We really want to make this shit count in the long run, because this shit is not the problem. The internet is not the problem. It's the people. The people and the
Mm.
mindset of the people is the problem. We just didn't have the internet to magnify it, but now we do.
This live stream has walked down this suspected gunman. Sorry. You're right. It is the mindset.
Oh, she can go ahead.
Oh, no. I hit something on the phone.
Oh, I thought somebody was talking. Okay.
No. I hit something on the phone. I hit that news article that we were talking about. But you were talking about it's not the people, it's the mindset.
Yeah, I
And,
think
and
that
you
when it comes to anything from government to all that, I'm in I'm doing college courses right now. That's part of the reason why I'm taking a little break from the content stuff, because I'm already working. So I was just learning about how the foundation of this country, and how it's so many people.
oh my gosh, Jalen, you
Can you
cut
hear me?
out. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
my bad. I'm back. But it was so many people. The Constitution. The Constitution is now, but at the time of people, doing this, creating this document, most people were opposed of it. You know what I'm saying? They were living a whole different way of life, where everything was local. Everything was, states' rights and this, that, and the third. And I believe like some people don't necessarily know what is the necessary change in the time that they're living in, because they're so used to what are. A lot of people aren't ready for change. That's why the progressives of the world are usually in the few, while the people who are, I guess you can say, conservative, or usually in the more majority most times. Even though you can break that down into more microcosms and different situations, of course, and all that stuff like that. But for the most part, in my kind of anecdotal observations and shit, that's kind of what I've kind of pictured it. People rather believe what they've been told by somebody familiar than what necessarily is reality, what's accurate.
Mm-hmm. And it's easy because can become familiar with a content creator and believe what he says, but not realize he's paid to say what he says. Not saying all, but there are, there's some that are on here for nefarious reasons. Like you have to really to develop that discernment on here, and you can't develop that without trial and error.
Well, and I want to say one thing that I've also chimed in on these last few weeks is to have more regulation on my emotional response to things and balance that out. So I just want to put that out there. You got to control yourself at times so that you can't let it get the best of you. And I think today how you set some boundaries was a really good thing to do, because these are individuals that aren't used to those types of boundaries, and they don't necessarily hear it when you say it, but maybe they can hear it when another person says it, and it's all out of it's wisdom. It's maturity to be able to do things like that, and I think that it's really good that you set that boundary, and lesson learned.
Well, I think like a lot of people think it's an open panel and that it's like, hey, come up here. Like the last couple of nights I've been going live and it's been a free for all. However, when it's Chicas Locas, oh my gosh, you didn't even say anything to me, Yolanda. I don't even have our logo up here. No wonder they were trying. No wonder. There we go. Now that we have Chicas Locas up there, which should have been up there all night, like this is a show that we really put work into. Just like Jalen says that he talks about current events that are going on across the world. We're talking about things that are going on and just bringing an awareness to it, because as we can see, sometimes this can go to some really dark places. And I'm not saying you have to do what I do or what we do or what anybody does, but just understand perhaps you can learn something from them. And if you're going to sit up here and spend this much time in just the way me and my mind operate, I'm going to treat it like a business because I'm putting work into this. Would you not agree? Because
Yes,
both of you are
ma'am.
hosts as well.
Yes, and I think that that's, even though we've been criticized for that, that's how we've worked. That's how we work. We're
Mhm.
professional women, and
Mhm.
we approach this the same way. So kudos to you. Cheers to you.
You too. Jalen, you're a content creator. Do you have boundaries set for yours? Or are you like, come on up and
Yeah.
let's just go ham?
Yeah, I mean, I have boundaries set. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. I don't really have a whole bunch of engagement in my content though, really. So still, it's more just people that already know me, so I already know kind of how I'm
Mm.
coming with it. Uh, I like I said, I don't treat this like a business. You know what I'm saying? Necessarily, I probably
Right.
should. You know what I'm saying? But I more treat it like a hobby. It's just something that
Mhm.
I like to do. I started doing this because like I was literally like just a person debating people on Facebook that post some shit that I didn't like or whatever. Post shit I did like, but I'm the type of person that drop comment after comment in your
Mhm.
comments and we going back and forth. And I just like shit. I'm over here talking about all this shit all the time, and then I got to a point where I started making like little shorts in my story talking about certain things. I was like, why not actually do it like on a platform like YouTube or TikTok? Because TikTok was starting to become a big thing, and so I was like, yeah, why not do it? And I just started doing it. And I ain't never do it with the mindset that I'm a be big off of it or anything like that. I just did it with like this could last forever. Like if something happened to me before my son get old enough, he can go on YouTube and see me talking about certain things and know where my mind at and know how how I feel about stuff. 'Cause I feel like a lot of people don't let the world know how they feel or let it be known how they stand, and even they just say community. It ain't got to be the world, but just like even your community. I think that we need to be voices more in our immediate, circles, of course. But I think even on a world stage, we definitely need to speak on shit, and we need to let it be known when we like someone, we don't like it, because it helps. Understand like the people that we are dealing with and around us every day. Like I think it'll have a lot more checks and balances than even like this government shit that they talk about. Like if we were actually just to speak on how we feel and not be in fear of somebody being so mad that they'll come and gun you down or anything like that. Like really being able to just speak on the shit. Oh yeah, this dude is kind of weird because he's acting like this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we also, as people who might be getting criticized, have to accept that not all shit is hating. Maybe
Mhm.
there's some merit to the criticism. Analyze, self-analyze, take that shit and sit with it and deal with it for a second. Don't just dismiss every criticism that comes your way as if don't nobody have any merit, even if it's coming from a fucked up place, the person that's not shit, that you look at like, oh, this person beneath me. I take that. I think I do that to the highest degree because you kind of have to. Is I mean, like I feel like we are all connected and one in a certain degree, and I think that if I even take the time to dismiss the message because of the messenger, I might miss some vital things to my growth as a person here on this earth. So I
So
think that
well,
man, we need that.
absolutely. We need these conversations. We need the conversations more than anything, especially in a world that promotes self.
Yeah, most definitely. We got to talk though. But like me, I love the antagonize. Like I love these type of talks as well, where we kind of can vibe and chop it up with each other. But I like to antagonize them once a little bit more for some reason. I think that when I'm challenged, it brings out a different side of me. The good and the ugly, the good and the bad and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like it all comes because you got pressure, and pressure. I feel like it busts pipes to make diamonds. So
Mm.
you definitely need conflict in this world, but we got to also know conflict resolution and how to do things in a manner that's like I was saying earlier, gentlemanly. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be like everybody thinks masculinity is this constant I don't know, rage something, or what I'm saying, tactical thing between men trying to show our assert our dominance. But a lot of times it can be a mental game as well. Like there's a lot of muscle heads out here that, you know what I'm saying, can't do nothing but, beat up some shit and shoot some shit down, being used like knights and rooks and pawns and shit in a game that they have much to, I mean, I'll say little to no real say so in. You know what I'm saying? Other than, all right, they might get to turn a nigga lights out, or they might beat up somebody or some shit like that. So it's like Brian only can get you so far in this world. And I don't think that this world is, I don't think, like we always say it's a man's world, but I think that we've got to a point where we can't keep looking at things like it's a man's world, because there's plenty of women who've, been at the footstool of, major progressions in positive lights and in negative lights. So I'd never put anything past any person on this earth. And I think that when we look at things in a more misogynistic or chauvinistic way, we harm ourselves in ways that I think not only in a psychological form of being able to build those inner those connections with women, but also in like harming life, because you know what I'm saying, you never know. You know what I'm saying? When the right woman can break those barriers down and, you know what I'm saying, have you all whipped up and manipulated. You know what I'm saying? So I think building those relationships, you understand the difference between the real and the lost and the, you know what I'm saying, the wicked.
Mm.
And you ain't gonna find it without, you know what I'm saying, actually genuinely just talking to people for the sake of, you know what I'm saying, trying to understand them.
Indeed. Jalen, I always enjoy when you come up. I hope that although you are taking a break, I hope you do find your way on my panel. I'm going to be greeting. And of course, I know where else to find you at Triggs. We're getting ready to end the show. You've already said so many wise things. I've already dropped your link in the chat. Like Jalen said, he is going to be taking a break, but he does have great footage and commentary of events. And he covers events that, although they're mainstream, they may not be things. Jalen, do you remember the pizza driver that had the explosion device around his neck and he was forced to go rob the bank? But then they caught him and it exploded in the parking lot.
No, I not. I don't think I've heard of that. I mean, if I
What?
might have, but
That's another person that don't
I
know.
can't believe y'all haven't heard that story.
Now we know you're gonna make a stream out of
Yeah,
it.
I need to do a live about that, because that is one of the most amazing, like, and it turned out to be like this. Hey, Jalen, what is it when you have such a high IQ? What group do you get invited to? Mensa? Is that it? Do you
What
know?
group?
Yeah, like if you're so like your IQ's like almost the best, and we're the best of the best, and we're the best of brains. Do they have like a special group like would be their Illuminati? Where they do.
I don't know. I
Ye-
just thought it would be called any elite class in
Yeah.
society because they use academics, they use all the scholars and shit to a, they all
Yes,
everybody
yeah.
has a certain agenda to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be in a positive light or a negative light, but I think that just be what you. I don't know if it's a name for it, but
Yeah, it's
yeah, I think
Mensa. It is the Mensa group. Well, it was a
Mensa.
she. Yeah. And she did it. She created it. And she
Okay.
executed the plan, which well, I can't believe none of you've heard it because I was
So
so
why?
glad.
So why was this piece of person chosen to execute whatever this was? Like, why was it something that it was just random, or was it like
No, I
was there a
think
purpose behind this?
well, I think it was someone she had kind of scoped out. He was a little bit, I believe, on the spectrum. Of course, they don't really say that, but judging from him, and she told him it was a scavenger hunt, and that all he had to do was go and rob this bank, drop the money here, and then go there, and there's where the key would be.
Damn,
However,
that's so evil.
However, he got caught at the bank and they had him in the parking lot. And of course, because imagine when you've been in a car wreck and you're having to wear that thing around your neck, it's like that big. And he's sitting there and they're like, well, what is that? And of course, they figure out what it is. And when they even made the device, they actually put so many wires in there that actually went to nothing. They just did it to throw off the bomb experts. And so nobody knew what to do. And of course, nobody's going near him. So he's just sitting out in the parking lot, like everybody's like just way far back. And the device detonates. And in order to even, because they need to get the device, that they had to disassemble him in the parking lot to not destroy the device any more than what it was. So it's a crazy story, and it took them years to figure out who did this.
Yeah, I ain't never heard that, but I'm definitely look into it.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, I'll tell you, it was I'm gonna put the name. It's the Brian Wells bank robbery.
it sounds like this movie Gone in not Gone in 60 Seconds, 30 Minutes or Less. It was a little new age movie. It got I don't know what's that boy name, man, but it's a little I know him from a lot of stuff, but I can't really think of it right now. I don't really watch movies like that no more, so
Yeah.
I can't name those other movies that he's in, but it has like the one Indian guy that's kind of like the kind of comedic
Yeah, I
relief in a
know.
lot of
Yeah.
uh yeah, and it's got that one white guy with the mullet that's kind of funny. He kind of reminds me of
Yeah.
like a Jack Black character, or you know what I'm saying, those type of guys. But it was a pretty funny movie. But yeah, he straps up they strap a bomb on his chest, even though it's a fake bomb, of course. And then they make him go rob a bunch of stuff and do kind of stuff. And he's a pizza delivery driver as well. So when I was hearing that, that's what I thought about. I was like,
That's what
damn.
people think is the movie. But now I'm wondering if they, and then now that I think about it, there was another bank robbery when you said fake bomb that they did the same thing too, except they broke into the branch manager's house the night before and held the family hostage. And then they put it on there and it was fake. And then they sent her in to rob her own bank.
Yeah, that's some
There's
real
some
wicked,
evil
methodical
geniuses.
shit.
Yeah, some evil geniuses out there. So be aware, people. Be aware. But do you have any closing statements before we head out?
Nah, just be aware, man. Always. I mean, I try to, you know what I'm saying, always be aware of things, what my surroundings, what's going on in the world. Cause yeah, I mean, as the tide turns, you never know what situation you might end up finding yourself in, and a little information could be the difference between life and death. So yeah, for that, I'll leave it up. Y'all be blessed, man, for sure.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You as well. Thank you. Alrighty, guys. Jalen came up here. I love when Jalen comes up here, right?
Oh, he's very insightful.
I'm
And he's so articulate, and he just has such a way of expressing himself. I really enjoy when Jalen comes up.
Just makes me proud. Go Texas. That's a Texas man right there.
Okay.
Yolanda, I need to tell you something right now. Okay. As soon as we get it contracted, we making money. The first thing we're doing is hiring a producer because there's a whole lot of shit that be going on, girl.
You and I need to have a conversation about this because I could be helping you out more than
I was like, holy, what is going on? You know what I mean? So it was wild, but I'm glad that we were able to push through it. It helped me, work through it. And if I didn't have this experience, I wouldn't learn things that help me advance in this game of YouTube.
That's right. You were learning some new plays.
Right. And I was like, oh, and it was only not necessarily of learning how to kind of get in control of the situation. And I guess I got to apologize to Goblin. I don't know, girl, because it's hard to discern from here, like what is sarcasm and what is not sarcasm, what is not sarcasm. So it was a whole lot going on.
There was a lot going on in that chat. I was really watching what was happening, but again, it's still the same old beefs that are happening, and they brought it here, and it had nothing to do with you and me.
Oh, yeah.
I think that an apology that's necessary, I don't really know. I think that if anything, that you did exactly what you needed to do, which was said that you didn't want to talk about those things on this panel tonight. And so their way of dealing with it was to say goodbye and that they weren't interested anymore. So what have we been saying? Disengage. And they did.
Opportunities, man. Anything you want to say before we head out?
No, I don't have much to say. Just that more great conversations, and I look forward to the next one that we have together next week.
Awesome. Next week we will be, I know, Joe, this is actually my third night in a row, but tonight was our Chicas Locas, and we just finished having an amazing conversation with Jalen. It was some good topical, Joe, and I just know that it would you would have benefited. And Joe, you know what, Joe, Yolanda, I hate to do this, but I'm going to make us go just a little bit over the 2 hours just because I want to show Joe what we watched tonight and the seriousness of this what's happening.
Well, you could go ahead and do that. You want to drop me down? I'm going to go ahead and let I love that you call yours the security team. I need to let my security team out, so you can go ahead and drop me down if you'd like.
Sure. All righty, Kay. Real quick. All right. Thank you, Yolanda. Joe, I have got to show you this. This is so insane. Joe, it's just like, hang on, Joe, I got to go back. Don't you worry, though. I got it for you, Joe. And I know you're going to appreciate this. No, Joe. I have to give you this special screening for you because you're VIP around here, Joe. VIP around here.
Gunman in the deadly shooting on the Las Vegas Strip made his first court appearance this morning. The Clark County coroner also identifying the victims. Here's a pic of them: 44-year-old Rodney Finley and 43-year-old Tanisha Finley. Our Andrew Namura joins us now from the downtown Las Vegas area with more on what he's learned about this case, along with reaction from several YouTubers who showed up in court today. Andrew?
Yeah, that's correct, LaToya. At least 3 YouTubers were present when 41-year-old Manuel Ruiz made his first court appearance. They also shared insights as to their reasons why this beef turned deadly.
Good morning, Mr. Ruiz. You were arrested for 2 counts of open murder with use of a deadly weapon.
41-year-old Manuel Ruiz makes his first court appearance Tuesday, 2 days after he allegedly shot and killed 2 people along the Las Vegas Strip near the Bellagio fountains. The Clark County coroner officially identifying them as 43 and 44-year-old Tanisha and Rodney Findley.
I thought it was just all for YouTube content. I didn't think he was going to actually shoot him and shoot his wife and kill them. I didn't think it was going to go that far.
This apparent YouTube beef turned tragedy, getting the attention of other creators like Marquise Wiley, who showed up to court in support of the victims. He says the bad blood started brewing more than a year ago.
It was all about who was the biggest Las Vegas YouTube content creator. And it was just, they was in competition. And when you watch YouTube, you see different creators competing for viewers. And that's what I thought it was about. I didn't think it was going to end in violence.
A judge ordering Ruiz to be held without bail. Wiley says this incident is not a representation of all influencers.
It make all YouTubers look bad right now because people think that we are violent and stuff like that. I have the Wiley show. I'm not violent. What Ruiz did was, it was unethical, it was stupid, and he deserved to be in prison.
Well, Ruiz is slated to be back in court this Thursday to be arraigned on open murder charges. For now, live here in Las Vegas, I'm Andrew Nomura, News 3.
Wild, right? Yeah, we are on Wednesdays. We just did a special appearance on Tuesdays, but thank you. Make sure to turn on your notification bell. This is proof that people take this YouTube stuff serious. I know. Right. And oh, Joe, they were saying that this started over with copyright strikes. This happened in Las Vegas. Who are some content creators that we knew that were in Las Vegas? Why wasn't the crowd reacting to the gunshots? They were. If you watch the first video that we had, they were. They did. But you see, here's the I don't want to show it again. So because the way we have it set up, it's like, ooh, this happened. And then the second time it happened, but you saw the crowd and you heard it. So it's just sad. You know, first and foremost, my condolences go out to the family of the man and the woman killed. Also to the suspects, because even though, you know, this horrible crime's been committed, but a family has lost a father, a son, a brother, a source of income. This for what? For YouTube? For YouTube, so I can have more likes than you, or I can have more views than you, or ha ha ha, I'm better than you. And oh Joe, right? And oh Joe, they had 4.4 thousand subs. This is insane. And you know, I'm pretty sure that the community, there was one part where they showed them on a panel. It was like looking at one of our panels. And you know that this community's hot topic right now. I bet you if we could go and look up any and find a panel talking about it, I'm talking about it, but I'm solo dolo. So yes, oh Joe, this is horrible. This is what we talked about tonight. Jalen also came up and he talked about us. He gave his views and opinions, and I can completely 100% believe him, subscribe to it. I'm pushing his narrative. Let's be real. Be real, be yourselves. He said, try to make soul connections, not ownership connections. Soul connections. That was, man, when he said soul connections, I have soul connections with people on YouTube. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. He said we need to be the voices and you use our voice wisely. Don't use it for hate. Use it to uplift. Use it to build. Use it to make people laugh. Running around discrediting people, talking bad about people. That's what we saw. We see now what happens. This is proof. This is proof today. Today. We are all connected. We are all connected. So with that, I just want to say I appreciate y'all's connections. I appreciate the connection we have here tonight, and I look forward to many more in the future. Who am I going to go out? Well, y'all know who I love the most. I mean, if y'all do not know who I love the most, then you guys really don't know me.